America that I love, right here at the plaza here in Porterville. Thank you so much for being patriotic, conservative Republicans. Wanted to tell you a little bit about my background. I started out in Sanger, a little farm town by Fresno. Learned young that we need to make sure we protect our constitutional rights. I got my BB gun at 7 years old and the .22 at 12 and never looked back. One thing about the Matisse family, we always believed in service to our country. And so after following my brother, I joined the United States Army. I was honored to serve, and I want to thank any veteran that's here today. Thank you so much for your service. We're free because of the sacrifice our men and women made in the armed forces. From there, I went to Fresno State. After graduating, got in the real estate business, and then ended up ranching cattle west of the 5 freeway. I think it's so important we don't forget that we are in an agricultural valley. We have a valley that's dependent on water, and we need to make sure that we have the storage and to make sure our farmers can continue the farm and our ranchers can continue the ranch. So important to me. I did have an opportunity of serving on the Fresno City Council. That was quite the experience. There in Fresno, you've got a lot of people that don't think quite like us, but I did learn to stand tall for our conservative values and make sure we never forget that as Americans, we are a free country. Let me tell you why I'm running. I'm running because of a gentleman by the name of David Valadao. Guess what he did? He voted to impeach President Trump. And as far as I'm concerned, in my lifetime, President Trump was the best president. He stood for America, he stood for our values. Just recently, thanks again to President Trump, Biden wanted to extend the mask mandate. Thanks to a judge in Florida, it was stopped. And that's part of our problem here in America. They're taking our freedoms away from us one by one. If you want to wear a mask, it's your decision. If you want to get vaccinated, it's your decision, not the government's. And I don't believe that you should be told to do that. And look at the last year and a half. We couldn't even go to church. We were prevented from going to church. We had to go to drive-ins to worship. Is that what America's all about? We need to make sure that the freedoms that we grew up with and that America's always been proud of, we continue to have them. Another very important thing to me is our United States Constitution. We have something called the First and Second Amendment that are very important. As Americans, we do have the right to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be infringed upon. And they are coming after us slowly but surely. For example, if you want to go to a gun store now and you need ammunition, if they can't show that you own the type of firearm that you need the ammunition for, they won't sell it to you in some places. That, to me, is a form of gun control. You have a right to defend your families, and the government should not interfere with that. The other thing very important to me is life. Life starts at conception. It doesn't start at 5 weeks or 8 months. It starts when God created the child, and we must make sure we protect life from cradle to grave. Finally, let's never forget that as Americans, we're a Judeo-Christian nation. This whole woke agenda where they're starting to teach gender identity and sexual orientation in our schools, really, is that the kind of country we are? That is mom and dad and grandpa's responsibility. We don't need our schools to teach alternative lifestyles. That's up to the families. It's up to the parents, it's up to the grandparents. And I have to say, a big part of my son's life was my mother and father, and I'm so grateful for them because they instilled the conservative values that my son now has. And I think that's so important that we never forget. God first, family, and then country. Finally, free and fair elections. Let's not let them steal this one. As far as I'm concerned, Governor Newsom should have been recalled. We were all for it. How is it that 2/3 of the people in California voted against it? I don't believe it. If you're an American, you can vote, but show picture ID, prove who you are, and don't just take for granted our right as Americans to vote. If we lose that, what do we have that's special to us as citizens? Finally, our border. Our border needs to be strong. If you come to America, come to love America, come to learn English and respect our flag and stand tall. Don't come here to take advantage of our benefits and work our system. My parents came as young Swiss immigrants. They started out in California, and I asked my dad, why would you leave where chocolate tastes so good and you have Swiss cheese and all those great things. He said, son, there's one reason I came, and I want you to never forget that. America's free, and I believe in living in a free country, and that is why he came here. That was his dream. And so I just ask people, if you want to come to America, love us, respect us, be kind to us, and don't try to change us. We're doing very well just the way we are. Thank you again, Chris Matisse, conservative Republican, running for the United States Congress. It's an honor to be here. God bless you all, and thank you again for being proud Americans.